What's the topic?
Whether or not you need a license to become a certified lash extension artist. Okay, go away. So this is the question that I get asked the most, and I totally get it, because if you go on the government websites, which are supposed to tell you whether or not you need a license to be a lash artist, it is very confusing. And you know, governments, they don't make it easy for you to find information. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you can do to find out whether or not you need a license if you're living in the United States or if you're living in Canada. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Elisa Folona, and on this channel we talk about eyelash extensions and lifestyle and everything else that I want to talk about. So the licensure requirements for the United States will vary from state to state, and even in Canada it'll vary from province to territory and so forth. So you need to check with your state board if you live in the States. So that is the State Board of Cosmetology, usually, and they will say on the website whether or not you need to have hours of training or you need to pass an examination. So I found this really handy website that I'm going to link in the description box below, and because a lot of my viewers, you guys, are from California, let's check it out. Let's just turn this on. Okay, so if you go to lashoutpro.com, you can see that they've already laid out all the requirements that you need depending on which state you live in. If we go to California, they've linked the state board site here. Now, even if we click in this is a pamphlet, and this is more for the public and not necessarily for an applicant, which is what you would be if you were trying to apply for a license. So I would go to barbercosmo.ca.gov, and the .gov means that it is a government website, which means that this information would be good. Okay, so if you go over here, there's all this information about applicants, licensees, laws, and regulations. So from here, we're gonna go to applicants and go to home, and then go to frequently asked questions. Here they have a section about education training requirements. So if you toggle down here, it basically says that you need this many hours to qualify for taking the state board examinations. So if you're becoming an esthetician, you only need 600 hours. If you're becoming a cosmetologist, you'll need 1,600 hours. And then once you get those hours with a approved school, then you can take the examination, and once you take the examination and pass, then you can get your license. This website, although it tells you exactly what prerequisites you need to become a lash artist, I definitely would still double check with this, because you just never know when this was last updated. So in California, in order to become a lash artist, you need to be a cosmetologist, an esthetician, or those working under physicians, such as having some sort of medical license. So that's a more simplified way for you to find out what license that you need to get before becoming a lash artist if you are in the United States. Another way I would recommend, if you're totally not sure on what to do or what license that you need, is to ask a reputable lash salon what prerequisites do their lash artists need before they hire them on. Because a salon is a legal business, it's a legal entity, I'm sure they're taking the necessary steps to hire legitimate lash artists who have the required licenses. So if we go through this list, you can see that actually some states, there are no regulations. So for example, Maryland, there's no regulations needed. Missouri, no regulations. And just keep in mind that eyelash extensions came to North America about 2004. So what that means is that it's still a fairly new area in the beauty industry. But honestly, I see this changing in the near future. I think going forward, the state or the province that you live in is recognizing eyelash extensions as a beauty service more and more, and they realize that they need to put safety laws and regulations out there to protect the public. So I would say if you're thinking about becoming a lash artist, especially if you're someone who lives in a state or province where it is unregulated, then you should definitely act on it now and do not wait. That is just my recommendation. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go to school. You're gonna have to do maybe like 8 to 12 to, I don't know, probably maybe 2 years if you're becoming a cosmetologist, to go to school, put in the hours, and then you can become a lash artist. Whereas if you act now and there's no regulations, you don't need any of that. So speaking of no regulations, let's talk about if you live in Canada. So basically, eyelash extensions is unregulated in Canada in a sense. So it's unregulated, meaning you don't need a license of any type to become a lash artist. Now, again, this might differ from province to province, but from my knowledge as of right now, making this video, eyelash extensions are still an unregulated service. However, I have seen it being more regulated in terms of the requirements needed to practice eyelash extensions. So for example, in Ontario, since 2018, Ontario now recognizes eyelash extensions under the umbrella of personal care services. So that would include like nail care, brow services, that kind of thing. So this is good because now, again, it's protecting the public. It means that you require, a checklist of things before you can legally practice lashing. But it does mean that you do have to now meet those requirements. So I did find this website that may help you if you live in Canada and you're still trying to figure out whether or not you need special permits or anything like that to practice lashes. But if you go to services.bizpal-pearly.ca, you're going to find this website that helps you find permits and licenses that you need for your business. So let's just say you live in Vancouver, British Columbia, but your industry, so specialized personal care services other than hair salons. So that's the industry. So as you can see, if you live in British Columbia, Vancouver, you do need to have a business number registration at the federal level. You do need a business license, so same as Ontario. This is if you want to incorporate your business, but basically you need registration and a business license. So you need to register your business if you need a business number. And the reason that you would want a business number is if you are now no longer a small supplier, as a larger supplier, I guess, you're gonna need to start charging GST, HST, or the taxes depending on where you live. So other things you'll need a business number for is payroll. I have no idea what excise means, but if you have a corporation and you need to pay corporate income tax and that kind of stuff. And the business license is now if you have like some sort of dwelling, or if you're practicing lashing in your home and you just need like zoning approval and that stuff, and you're in the city of Vancouver, so you need a business license. So let's just say you live in Ontario. The personal care service is now under a regulation. I will link this website down below because I thought it was super helpful, and it can tell you the new legal requirements for personal care settings. So the short version of that is really that you need a business license and you need a home inspection to legally practice eyelash extensions within your own home. So that being said though, let's just say you're just starting out, you don't really know if you want eyelash extensions to be like the end all be all business, you're gonna put your sweat and blood into this. So what I would recommend is actually you start your certification. So you get your certification, but then you can just practice on your friends and family. You're not really making it a business yet. You're just practicing your skill. It's more of a hobby at this point. So I think that's okay. But as soon as you start charging and like opening it up to the public, then at that point, you should realize that you do need the required licenses, especially if you live in an area that you need to be an esthetician, a cosmetologist, or anything like that. So in Canada, it's a little bit bit easier. You just kind of start and then work your way up to legalizing your business, especially if you're doing it in your home. If you're someone that wants to have a studio on the street level, it's, in a commercial building, you probably want to legalize it before you even pay rent or, sign any types of contracts. You probably have to. Now, a question that you might be asking is, are there a lot of lash artists out there that are practicing that don't legalize their business? And the answer to this is there are definitely lash artists that do this. I guess if we take Ontario, for example, with a dwelling inspection or a home inspection, there's a whole set of markers that you need to hit before the home inspector can pass you. So a lot of lash artists don't actually get the health inspection and all of that. You're gonna need a separate room that is not used for any other type of living area. So it's like not part of your living room. You need like a handicap washroom, you need special, I think, like materials on the walls and stuff. So I could see why a lot of lash artists choose not to, and it is a risk that you are taking. If something happens, and you haven't had a past inspection, it can really bite you in the butt. So I would recommend that as soon as you can make those home improvements to your home, you have like a hand washing sink in your studio, that you do that. So now that we talked about licenses, let's talk about certifications. So I wanted to talk about this because I'm not 100% sure in the US, but in Canada, because it is so unregulated, it really means that anyone can do eyelash extensions, anyone can teach eyelash extensions, and anyone can certify anyone in eyelash extensions. So you definitely want to be careful when choosing a lash extension course. Like, it could literally be someone's best friend just started lashing 6 months ago, thinks she's really good and she can train now, and just throws a course together, puts a lash kit all from like Amazon products, and then offers her services on Instagram. And then maybe your friend told you that her best friend is now training, and you're like, oh, okay, like she must be legit. Well, it's not really up to me to tell you that she ain't, but I am saying that there is a very big difference to you if you take a high quality lash training versus someone who just slapped their training together. It can save you a lot of time, money, effort, energy if you take a course that just got it right the first time, and you like understand the fundamentals the first time, and you don't feel totally confused and like you didn't learn anything and that you're gonna have to retake a different course. You don't want that. There are 3 different avenues that you could take when becoming certified. So the 3 that I've seen are if you take a lash training with a lash brand, so an established brand, maybe they sell their own eyelash extension supplies and products, and they have a huge marketing team, and maybe they have numerous lash educators under their belt that can teach you. So for example, that would be Lashbox LA or Bella Lashes if you're in the States, Extreme Lashes, which is a popular one in Canada. So that's the first way. The second way is to take eyelash extension training with a college or a private college, a private school of some sort that decided, hey, we're a beauty school, let's train in eyelash extensions as well. And then the third way would be to take it with a lash artist, so like an individual person. There's no like team around this person. So those are the 3 ways. Now I want to talk about them because I'm sure there are really good lash trainings that you can take in each category, but there are also really bad training companies, individual trainers, or colleges out there as well that are cash grabs, and they just will take your money and you'll get scammed. And this is a thing that you need to watch out for. So when it comes to vetting any 3 of these choices that you're thinking of going with, always make sure to talk to past students. I think that's the best way, because to be honest, let's say it's a reputable college, they have like amazing marketing, they have great reviews, but to be honest, there are some people out there that will give these companies reviews and not really mean it because they want to grow and they see that review as a way to establish a relationship and keep a relationship with that college, which means that as a new lash artist, right, like they're gonna have your back and like you had their back even though your training wasn't that good. So just be very wary of very good marketing, because it can have all the frills, it could look beautiful, all the pink that you want, but at the end of the day, they don't put your best interests at heart. So stay away from one-day trainings. Don't do that. You need at least 2. And honestly, I would try to look for something that's 3 or more days of hands-on training. And honestly, I know that online training is huge now, especially with the pandemic. Everyone wants to do everything online, but training in lashes is such a hands-on skill that you really require feedback from your trainer to understand what you are doing right and what you're doing wrong. And I swear to you, if you took in-person training, you would learn way faster. I think it would be good for as a supplement, but to get certified and that be your first class, I don't think so. So let me know what you guys really think about taking online training. I'm sure there's so many people watching this video thinking that they are going to do online training. I don't know, maybe you're like a busy mom and you really have no time. But trust me, I swear if you make the time, that it's going to be far better for you. You're going to get way more bang for your buck taking like a $1,500, $2,000 course than if you paid $300 for an online course. Okay, everybody, I so hope that this video helped you answer that question of whether or not you need a license, or how to figure out where to get information about what kind of licensing you need depending on where you live. So if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be informed of my next video. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.